Outside of the Arirang studios, here I am at the IBM head office in Seoul to meet with our guest, Harriet Green. Let's go inside to meet her. Follow me. IBM is a global company that pushes for business consulting and IT solution business. Last year, Harriet Green was appointed Chair and CEO of IBM Asia Pacific. Heart to Heart grasped the chance to meet with her in the IBM Korea office as she is paying her visit to Korea. Among the latest IBM technologies, Watson, IBM's artificial intelligence system, is the main field of focus.
Watson was the name that we gave to a whole array of capabilities that really, in the most simple terms, can ingest a huge amount of data.
Harriet Green is a businesswoman of our times. She was listed as one of the champions of women in business in 2018 by Financial Times and ranked first among the top female IoT influencers by Onalytica.
I have years more of learning and practicing and trying to be using all of this energy and capability to be the very best that I can be for society, for wherever I'm working, and for the people around me.
On today's Heart to Heart, we will explore IBM's latest technologies and current projects, as well as CEO Harriet Green, a businesswoman in the global spotlight, and her achievements. So welcome, and I'd like to thank you for being on our show today. First of all, what brings you to Korea this time around?
On business,
Yes.
I'm lucky enough to run IBM's businesses across Asia Pac, and so Korea is a very important part of that. And we have a whole series of amazing events. The greatest CTOs in the country for breakfast early, and then one of our big Think events, which looks at all of the new technology and business needs, and then lots of client visits and times with our team.
I know that this is not your first visit to Korea. You've been here many, many times.
Yes.
So how does it feel to be back?
I think that Korea has some extraordinary contrasts for me. You know, this is the most innovative country in the world. The new era of hybrid cloud, of data, of AI has been incorporated into many small, medium, and large companies in Korea is incredibly exciting to be a part of. We also, as IBM, have the highest percentage of female executives of any of our IBM businesses, and we have a very high bar here. And so it's fantastic to see how inclusion and diversity is embraced in our own business. But then how we get that adopted across wider Korea is a great mission. So what are we doing about that? I think the first thing, creating some of this amazing technology that we have a real responsibility to skill and equip people. And so one of the highlights of the day, the team here last year created our first PTech school, our Pathways to Technology school, which really takes younger people who have either not the inclination, the time to do a full IT degree, and equips them for this real world of technology. And then I came here and I spent time with our developers who are working on some great code and some great capability around. We believe that it's our responsibility to help here in Korea with the inclusion, the diversity, and this big skill gap that exists.
So everyone knows IBM, but just as a routine question, I'd like for you to tell us briefly about the company.
IBM is an amazing organization, 108 years old, that has been through many transformations. Started life creating machines for business, whether that was scales, clocking in machines, then became the leader in the whole hardware and data processing revolution, then into PCs and the whole distributed computing environment, then services, and now really at the center of this data revolution.
Could you also explain to us your role there as CEO and chair of IBM Asia Pacific? Tell us more about your role.
My job is really to ensure that all of that great capability that we've created, we are the leader in hybrid cloud for enterprise, by far the leader in blockchain, enterprise leader in AI, that we've spent with Red Hat close to $100 billion in the last 5 years on these new capabilities. And last year was the first time that over half of our revenues got to be in those new capabilities. And my job is to do exactly that. Small, medium, and large companies, help them transform, whether they're disruptors and startups, or whether they're some of the largest and most esteemed companies in Korea, as they take their digital enterprises to the next level. So it's a passion and time with clients, and then enabling all of our teams, this incredible group of men and women who we feel are motivated by being included in these extraordinary journeys to the next level.
One more thing about the Asia Pacific region, and we read that you've always been interested in the Asia Pacific region. Is there a particular reason?
I think it's just such an amazing array of cultures and capabilities. The complexity, the diversity of the people, and how mobilizing those teams to make great stuff happen is so exciting.
Now, I wonder if you could also tell us how Korea fares in the Asia Pacific region, and also perhaps you could tell us how Korean businesses are different from companies overseas. If they are different, how different are they?
Korea is one of the most innovative countries in the world. Korea, with the large conglomerates, the choibles, as well as the smaller businesses, has long understood the power of data. How we help those businesses create new products, new services, new efficient, agile ways of working is very exciting because they're very large. Now, we'd like to see more inclusion and more diversity and more bringing of everyone's great selves to work, and how we can help with that, both in the skilling, both in the millennial programs, and in so many of the IBM teams being role models, both men and women, in leading the way forward. So it's a very exciting time in Korea, because there are also intense productivity issues with the 52-hour working week being regulated, whilst having to become more productive. We see here, as our chairman often says, every single role in every single company, in every single industry will be changed by AI. And that is landing very, very powerfully here.
We'll be talking about some people, I guess, being concerned about AI. But before that, I'd like to ask about IBM Watson. So Watson is already a very well-known and well-advanced technology, but could you perhaps tell our viewers about it in layman's terms to help them understand a bit easily?
So Watson was the name that we gave to a whole array of capabilities that really, in the most simple terms, can ingest a huge amount of data, how it can be processed at extraordinary rates and power, and then the insights that are gleaned can be shared in natural language, in Korean language, in many, many languages, to help create new products, new services, greater efficiency. And now we're beginning to see the little POCs that we started with being really developed at scale to help companies. And it's not just about business. This will be a time, we think, when history will look back very carefully at those who are involved in all of this data in a good way or a not so good way. And now how, in an enterprise sense, the transparency, the openness, the complete focus on the data belongs to the originator or the creator, and that everyone should be able to explain the algorithms that if you just had a decision that refused you insurance at a particular provider, that you would be able to ask why and that company explain. So with this huge creation, this new epoch of technology, comes a great responsibility. We take that very, very seriously in our very clear principles, and we take it seriously that we must fill that skills gap in every country in the world. And Korea has stepped up right there with us with our first PTech last year, and more to come.
Is there something that you can add perhaps about what sets Watson apart from other supercomputers in AI? Could you give us some examples?
Yes, for sure. I mean, first of all, IBM has been working away on our AI for close to half a century. Actually, Singapore and Asia Pac, Pacific International Lines, which is using AI and blockchain to really take the bill of lading, which is all of the documentation around shipment, around docks, and a process that used to take 27, 28 days now takes seconds, that enables this trusted, secure, complete insight into the great supply chain. All of these are phenomenal examples of AI touching every single business, those jobs within it, and now beginning to leverage those at scale.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, you have played a major role in promoting and expanding the business side of things for IBM Watson. So I'd like to ask you how you became interested in the field and what the overall, I guess, response to Watson is in the global market.
So yes, I joined IBM. I was very lucky after some of the things that I had been doing before. I'd been involved in digital transformations as a public company CEO of a number of businesses in different industries, and this real need to relearn, to really understand in detail how businesses can benefit from these technologies and capabilities, as well as help in the transformation, allowed me to be the first leader of the Watson Internet of Things business, which enabled us to really take many capabilities and help cities be smarter, help things to connect with people. That was really about what are the problems that governments, societies, and businesses are trying to solve with this massive explosion of data, and how could our capabilities help them? So very exciting time, extraordinary. I don't think my brain has had to work so hard, not just from a business perspective, but also really understanding the tech to help the C-suite really get familiar with what are the challenges around security, what is the trusted, immutable integrity of blockchain, and how can we work together on these issues.
Some people are against artificial intelligence. It seems as though maybe the same amount of people are in support of it. So could you maybe tell us about some valid concerns, or are there any?
I think it is very important that governments, societies, enterprises think carefully about this whole new era. The benefit that can be gleaned from this data that belongs to the enterprises in a very transparent way, the way that we do not impose any sense of unconscious bias in our coding into those algorithms, and then the transparency. Whose data is it? What is your data policy? IBM is a company that's had a data privacy officer since 2000 and produced capabilities for the world that allow you to sort of do a health check on all of the capabilities that your developers are working on. So being on the good side of tech at this time, being good stewards investing in skills, ensuring there's transparency, treating the businesses who provide that data with respect. It is their data. It is not data that just can be used in a large knowledge graph for everyone else to get benefit from. And so I think as we enter this new phase, these issues are very, very important. And as our chairman often says, every single role pretty much in the world will be changed in some way by AI. And so we need to make sure that companies can regulate themselves, that they can have, very clear policies about the way they treat these capabilities, the way they treat individuals, and the way they treat security. Here in Asia Pac, again, around 24% of companies, based on the Cyber Research Unit group that looked at this, really have a clear cyber resiliency plan. And those that did, only half of them had tested it, and less than half had the skills to bring those to be. So you can see these themes: skills, the responsibility to help create new skills. We take that very seriously. The responsibility to secure that data, not confusing security with the free flow of data, and the responsibility to have the very best inclusive and diverse workforce so that this tech is not just for a few, but for many.
This reminds me how it's essential to educate, future leaders in advance to prepare for new technologies. So what would you say is something that we need to raise leaders, and perhaps you can tell us about PTech?
Yeah, I think PTech, as I've indicated, is one of, I think we're at our 111 schools with many partners around the globe, partners here in Korea, in other countries, that is looking to fast track with mentoring, real life experience, immediate skills that the world needs. Today, we got to meet 3 16-year-old girls, and we said, what are you working on? And they said, oh, we're working on HTML, we're working on C. They've been doing this 3 weeks, and they represent the future. And I think our future looks very great and exciting to do this. So I think we have to do something to build that skill set, capability, the needs that people have. So I think we feel that great responsibility because we are creating a great deal of that technology.
So have schools in Korea implemented PTech?
So it's not, the school system supports it, but it is really taking people who would not normally do a degree and fast tracking them so that they're quickly educated and ready to help. And the results of the 111 schools to date, releasing thousands of children into the workplace as young adults with these skills to help in security, to help as cloud architects, to help in this real dramatic revolution of technology.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We will be back with our interview after watching a video of Harriet Green in Korea. As Chair and CEO of IBM Asia Pacific, Harriet Green has come to Korea to oversee in person a region that she manages. Through achieving various results at IBM, she now stands as one of the most successful businesswomen of our times. She is here to tell us how she made it through. So you are obviously recognized as a powerhouse in the business world, and you were recognized as the UK Business Leader of the Year and Veuve Clicquot Businesswoman of the Year in 2014. You also were ranked 23rd in Fortune's top global business leaders list. Now, these titles are not given lightly, so it must have taken a lot of effort, a lot of hard work and determination to be where you are today. So please tell us about that as well.
So I think working hard and really, bringing your whole self to work is hugely important. I like to kind of mix the day up. I do need to do something every day for myself. whether that's exercise, whether that's reading, as well as a relatively small list of things that I do. So I think curiosity, hard work, not taking yourself too seriously, investing back in yourself, in learning all time, and then I am just blessed in this role, spending time with such a wide array of brilliant clients who are doing such incredible things with IBM's capabilities as well as our teams. So lots of times coaching as well as in clients, sort of helping to address their problems as they move forward.
We see that society has changed to be more inclusive, and you have mentioned this as well. So do you find this to be true in your experience in business as a woman?
So I think that the data and the facts would say that we still have a very long way to go. And that actually some of the statistics are quite shocking. That from recent research that we did to celebrate International Women's Day, a very small number of the thousands of companies that we interviewed have a clearly stated policy on diversity and inclusion. Less than 20% had a clear vision with milestones and steps along the way. And that is probably why still less than 30% of C-suite members are women. So I think getting a plan, saying we want an inclusive and diverse workforce, that regardless of your age, your sex, your color, your creed, your sexuality, or your physical ability, if you are good, you will get on here. You know, what you do every day to make this a reality is very important, but I fear that we still have a long way to go.
Yes.
And it takes us to keep fighting.
It's true. I think especially in Korea, we are, of course, seeing more women being educated, more women in the workplace, but still there is that glass ceiling. It's still prevalent. So I guess it's something that needs to be worked on. Now, your job is highly future-oriented. So this means that you're constantly dealing with changes, change after change. So I'd like to ask what change means to you and how you cope with changes.
So I think that having been involved in many transformations, for me, successful change means that every single person in your team, your organization, your country, your government, knows their part in that better future. And that takes enormous education, coaching, time, experience, going back over the learning, the education, and the coaching. It is too easy to just go back to what we all knew and were comfortable before. And I often do something when I think, oh gosh, why can't everyone be as change agile as me? I take off my watch that I wear on my right hand and I just put it on my other hand. And I think, now, how does that feel? It feels odd, right? So for all of us, I think, as humans, doing change every day and making it the new normal is very, very challenging.
Oh, wow. I like that example. The watch from the right hand to the left hand.
And all day you'll be noticing, wait,
something doesn't feel right.
Something doesn't feel right.
Right.
You know, and then you think, how good at change really are we?
Oh, wow. With all of your countless achievements, could you say that you have reached your goals? And also, what is your ultimate goal?
I think this keep learning, keep being better, keep being the best that I can be, whether that's the best coach or leader, the best client-facing executive, helping boards and C-suites transform. No, I don't think I'm even there. And if we're all going to live till we're 100, I have years more of learning and practicing and trying to be, using all of this energy and capability to be the very best that I can be for society, for wherever I'm working, and for the people around me.
Wonderful. I'd like to thank you so much for being with us today. Through our talk, I was able to think a lot about the importance of forward thinking and thinking positive as well. What I can possibly do to improve myself. I really appreciate your time. I hope that you will join us again in your next visit to Korea.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. You're a
감사합니다.
wonderful interviewer.
Thank you very much.